It was a different story for Omer Mayer in game two for Team Israel. They were able to pick up a victory over the Dominican Republic, 80-76. But this was a little hairy at the end of this game. This was up for grabs, I would say. And Omer did not shine the way he did in game one. That's probably the best way to frame this. The box score itself ended up perfectly fine. No notes. I think anyone, if you're just reading a box score, would not criticize this performance whatsoever. 14 points, 5 rebounds, 2 assists, a steal, a block, plus 18 in his minutes. But if you watch this game like I did, I watched the entire second half and a little bit at the end of the first. Um, Outside of a stretch in the third quarter where he got going, this was a different story, and he really struggled. He struggled with his shot. He was not making pull-ups. He airballed a couple shots, had some turnover issues. Part of this was the way that the Dominican Republic defended him. A lot of ball pressure. They were switching everything in the second half and really aggressively overhelping, digging on his drives. But I don't know. We have put a lot of praise on this kid. He's not going to be flawless every game. We know that. But we're coming off a video earlier this week where I hypothesized that this kid is NBA good right now. We even floated that someone in the gym at the FIBA event questioned if he was as good as Braden. We did not see that at all in game two. This was a significant step backwards from Mr. Mayer. So you were trying to slow my hype train down earlier this week. Should probably throw it to you to get your thoughts on his performance in game two.
So look, positives first off. They got the win. He did, do some things, right? Like 14 points, 5 rebounds, 2 assists, plus 18, a block and a steal, as Purdue men's basketball official Twitter page put it as with his highlights, which by the way, that's well done. That's well done. You throw that plus minus out there, you throw that final score, you throw that 3-0 Israel record and all those up there. But when you watch the game and when you obviously you pointed out some of the things, but also just like a tough day. 4 of 15 shots, 1 of 7 on 2-point field goals. Uh, Behind the 3-point line, 3 of 8. So not terrible, but like, eh. He's also 3 of 6 from the free throw line, 50%. So it's like very, just a tough day. But to your point, you know, here's my silver lining for Purdue though, and just in general. This is a young kid. Stuff like this is going to happen, right? Like let's relate it to this. You talk about like Michael Brown's performance in the Nike Hoop Summit, right? He struggled. Still a talented player. He's going to be productive. He's productive in this tournament. I don't feel different about Omer Meyer as well. There was a lot of things the Dominican Republic was doing to solely focus on him, given what his status is with his team. He is everything. I think they noticed that and they did what they had to do to cut him off. Didn't work. They still got their ass whooped, but like it is what it is. They made it tough on him, but they gave themselves a chance. Um, from a Purdue men's basketball standpoint, Omer is not going to be asked to be what he is for this team. He's not going to be at the top of scouting reports every single night. He's going to be your third guy, like we hypothesized, fourth guy, maybe even. And that is going to go a long way for him and just for Purdue in general, because I don't think he's going to be at the tip top of scouting reports on every single night because you are playing with Braden Smith and guys like TKR as well. So, um, you know, do you want to see him have a bad performance like this? Absolutely not. It was rough. It was rough shooting, but still able to do some things, get the win, and like I said, as Boiler Ball pointed out, plus 18, don't sleep.
Yeah. Yeah, you said like he might be the third, maybe the fourth option. On nights like this is the luxury for Purdue. He plays like this at Purdue, he's the eighth option that night. Now, the next game he might come back and be the second best player or even the best player. But like if there are inconsistencies from Omer, I can promise you with the way he was playing that second half, Paint would have just benched him and brought in CJ Cox and Jakari Harris, and one of those guys would have to make some shots for you and make plays. Look, I'm not going to sugarcoat it overly much, but again, you got to remember this is all viewed in my brain, my distorted, warped, ugly, awful brain. I was viewing everything through the lens of, man, I actually believe this kid is like an NBA player right now. This video is brought to you by NBA 2KLab.com. 2K Lab worked with us last summer as well, and they're one of our favorite entities in all of sports gaming. We want to show you their college basketball stadium locator challenge game, and I'm going to share a screen right now as we do this. South Carolina, bang. Oh,
Ooh,
okay, that's pretty good. Next, North Carolina. Why are we only getting the Carolinas?
please
Bang.
lock in.
St. John's, that's New
New
York.
York.
Bang.
Where's New Jersey?
We're on fire. Colorado. I actually don't know what state Colorado is.
It's it's in Colorado. There's a state of
Is that
Colorado.
this one?
It's to the right of Phoenix.
Anyway, you get the picture. This game's really fun. They've got more games as well, like Guess the NBA Player, Mystery Fantasy Draft, and more. Stay tuned for all of the college football content and games that they'll be putting together to help you get the best experience out of college football 26. Back to the video. Maybe that was a total miscalculation on my part, but everything I had seen from this kid prior to this game against the Dominican Republic was like otherworldly. I mean, at the Nike Hoop Summit, he had no look assists every single play. Then he comes to game one and he looks like an unstoppable step back shot making force. And I'm getting texts that he's better than Braden.
Mm.
So like I just believed it. Maybe I'm gullible. Maybe I fall for words too quickly. But I had no reason to believe anything else. I had no reason to believe a performance like this was on the table for Omer. Now, there's two things, and again, I said I'm not going to sugarcoat it. The shooting was awful. He finished 4 for 15. I think there were definitely people watching this game online, but there were also people that just look at the box score like, how can you criticize 14-5 here? If you watch this game, you know how much he struggled. And it was not that he was getting triple teamed. I mean, there were some interesting coverages early. Clearly, Dominican Republic told their team, Omer's the guy. We have to key in on him. But in the second half card, they were just switching. All they were doing was switching. And Israel kept trying to get Omer switched onto a big. It was one-on-one. There was not anything crazy. And to the extent he had any issues with the switches, that's on Omer for not reading it and not making a decisive move. Like he would have his head down trying to blow by a big man from the Dominican, would not get by him, and then the help would come and he'd throw the ball out of bounds or kick it off his feet or something. So he had a shot clock violation in this game where he was dancing for too long and then tried to kick to the corner and the shot clock went off as the ball was in the air. The word I would use to describe it is just flustered. And I will say the nice thing for this is he didn't go away. Like some guys would mentally not have it in a game and just check out. Omer did not ever stop being aggressive. It did not impact what he was trying to do. But let's be clear about it. What he was trying to do in this game, nothing worked. I mean, nothing worked. His jumper wasn't there. He finished with only 2 assists in 25 minutes. That's not Omer. And if you're telling me they threw a bunch of doubles and overhelps in him, how do you only have 2 assists? Like, it just was a bad game. So much so to the point that in the second half card, they benched him. With 6 minutes left, up 11, they put Omer on the bench until 2.5 minutes were left in the game. And by the way, when he checked back in with 2.5 minutes left, they cut it to 4 late. So you can give me the plus minus. Great. He had a plus 18. He's clearly the best player on Israel. Of course, he should have the best plus minus on the team. In this game, he didn't. Ronnie Balaga, who played more minutes than him, had a higher plus minus than him. Omer played the fourth most minutes of his team in this game. That should never happen. But it wasn't foul trouble. He was really struggling, and the coaching staff didn't know what to do with him in the second half. So again, look, on a night where we're talking about how much he struggled, he still hit 3 threes. He still scored 14 points. He still got 5 rebounds. He still impacted the game, and his team still got a W. But this is a pretty major wake-up call just for the hype that I personally am throwing on this kid. Because, again, to be clear, this type of stinker game did not happen against Team USA. It did not happen against Germany. It happened against a Dominican Republic team that, as far as I know, has 1.5 serious prospects on it.
Mm-hmm.
So I think I got to slow. I'm still an Omer guy. I still really believe him. I expect him to bounce back fully in game 3. slowing it down is what
I
I'm.
think he will. I think he will. Also, I think this is inherently. I think this is good. This
Do
is
you?
good. I think this is good for everyone.
Is it good for my well-being that I
This
slow
is good
down?
for everyone involved because honestly, like I don't know if this channel would have been able to sustain like a 27-9-9 Meyer performance.
Well, I kept going back. Like I think he's a Kasparis Yegor Demon level guy. That's how I've been framing it. In similar competitions in previous years, I just never saw Kasparis struggle to this extent.
Yeah.
Now Yegor did. Yegor had some stinkers in international events, and Yegor still turned out to be a lottery pick. So, but Yegor was what 6'9".
Yeah, a little different.
That was part of that. So I don't know. I'm gonna reset a little bit. Uh, for what it's worth, don't ever want to hear that Omer's better than Braden again after this performance. Just not gonna do that. Probably shouldn't have done that in the first place. But like if Braden Smith played in that game, what's he putting up?
Once again, I'm gonna go back and say that he would put up 37, 14, and 2.
I
No,
think Braden would have had like 30 and 15 assists based on the way they were covering him.
and
Yeah.
would have sat out the second half.
It's crazy.